It's day 2 of Formula One testing in Barcelona. The session has just got underway after Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes set the fastest time yesterday. Well, let's cross to the Circuit de Catalunya and join Craig Slater, of course. Craig, very good morning to you. Good start for Mercedes yesterday. How important a day is it for McLaren today?
McLaren were looking to bounce back today. They had a tough day yesterday. Fernando Alonso only managed 29 laps. He looked quite crestfallen when he spoke to the media afterwards. He used the word sad and disappointed, so clearly he thinks that's an important day lost. He only has 4 in the car before the teams head off to Australia, but already they've hit problems on the track today with Stoffel van Dorn. Now, it was after Alonso's installation lap at the start of running yesterday that he hit problems. This was the scene in the pit lane as Van Dorn attempted to get back to the McLaren garage. You can see he had to be pushed back. Yesterday the problem was to do with, as Honda revealed, who supply McLaren's engines, the shape of the oil tank. That was what had caused some kind of issue with the car, perhaps an oil leak. You wonder if there has been a recurrence here this morning, because again it was at the same point in the day during Van Dorn's installation lap. Now that necessitated, when the issue hit Alonso yesterday, the whole engine being taken out, which meant a 4-hour delay, because these things are very complicated to take in and put out. So you wonder if Van Dorn will have a similar stretch kicking around the paddock today, because McLaren have to sort things again. It's a tough start for them as the Haas goes out, almost shades of 2015 when they had a pretty disastrous pre-season, just as Honda were coming back into the sport.
Thank you, Craig.
Now it's day 2 of Formula One testing in Barcelona. The session has just got underway after Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes set the fastest time yesterday. And we can cross live to the Circuit de Catalunya now and join Craig Slater. Morning, Craig. Who are the early pace setters today?
Well, Lewis Hamilton is setting the pace and he's compiled the most laps as well. Kimi Räikkönen also going pretty well in the Ferrari. Better news for McLaren fans. You may have seen in the last hour that we showed pictures of Stoffel van Dorn being pushed back to the garage after his initial outlap. Well, he was able to get back out again. This is him in action this morning. He hasn't posted a time lap, however. It's been 7 individual outlaps. That's what he's done thus far. So no time for him. There's still some teething problems there, clearly. No timed laps, no laps at all for either Renault or Force India. And a couple of spins on track this morning too to tell you about. Antonio Giovinazzi, who's deputising for Pascal Wehrlein in the Sauber. He had a little bit of a moment out here at the chicane. Ditto the young man Lance Stroll, who's in the Williams this morning, just 18 years of age, his proper Formula One debut on track with other Formula One cars, and he had a little bit of an off in the last hour. But there is Lewis Hamilton. We can briefly show you him before we depart the scene here in Barcelona. That double T-wing on the back of his car, quite a notable new aerodynamic addition. It looks a little bit ugly, but clearly Mercedes beginning to bring in bit by bit little bits of aero upgrade, and I think we'll see more of them throughout the week.
Thanks very much, Craig.
Lewis Hamilton is looking like the man to beat after setting the fastest time so far on the second day of pre-season testing in Barcelona. Now, the extra speed of this year's cars was pretty clear to see. The McLaren driver posting the fastest lap time at the Circuit de Catalunya since 2013. There's a lot expected from this young man this season. Can Max Verstappen be a real title contender in his first full season in the Red Bull car? Today, he made his first appearance in the new RB13, finishing 5th fastest overall. And a good day for Sebastian Vettel yesterday. It was Kimi Räikkönen's turn at the wheel today, with another positive session for Ferrari, 2nd fastest overall. But McLaren suffered problems for a second day running. Rookie Stoffel Van Dorn frustrated on his installation lap. The car had to be pushed back into the garage. Not the start he would have wanted, but he was able to get back out there again. And it was another big day for another rookie, 18-year-old Lance Stroll, making his debut in the Williams. Unfortunately, though, he suffered a spin later on in the session. No harm done, though. There was also a spin for Sauber test driver Antonio Giovinazzi. He's standing in for the injured Pascal Wehrlein. So
Now it's day 2 of Formula 1 testing in Barcelona. The session has just got underway after Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes set the fastest time yesterday. Let's cross live to the Circuit de Catalunya and rejoin Craig Slater. Craig.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, Lewis Hamilton beating Kimi Raikkonen's lap record time. It's not an official time, but Formula 1 getting faster and faster. And look who's with me, one of the all-time greats, 4-time world champion, Alain Prost. But I want to talk about your British driver, first of all, Alain, who's not been out on track today. I think you're waiting for some bodywork to come on so he can use the car properly. But maybe do you learn a bit more about an individual when they have a tough time? And Julian Palmer had a difficult year last year at this team. Did it show what he's really made of?
I think you always learn, but you learn in a Formula 1 team, and a little bit like life, you know, you're learning about everything, you know, and when you win, when you lose, sometimes you learn a little bit more when you lose, especially if it's your fault. If it's not your fault, then you learn maybe a little bit less. And for sure, it's an experience to you, in fact, for the character, you know, you get maybe a bit stronger, which is quite good, but it has to be short. You know, when it's too long, then you only get pissed off, and that's it.
It's a new role for you at the team, slightly modified. You're special advisor now. Why don't you just come back altogether, Alain, and be fully hands-on team boss here, run this team?
No. I mean, it's a difficult situation to explain, but you know, it's a long time now. I'm involved with Renault, and I've done different projects also with them. I'm working quite well as an ambassador. It's really the ambassador role is really important for them and also for me, because it's working quite well. That's things that you can't see yourself very well, but with the Formula E involvement and Formula 1, I'm always been, you know, sort of advising, especially for not really for running the team or choosing the people, but for other aspects, even commercial things. And but now they came back and asked me if I wanted to, you know, have a role to try to see how we can improve things. You know, it's I did not want to have, and also know them, you know, to have a day-to-day role, obviously because I can't. I mean, physically I can't do it. But it's very interesting to be a little bit on the top, you know, beside, to look at everything and to be able to say, you know, that's the thing we have to do, and we have to change. And you know, for the short term, medium term, long term, we have also a lot of discussion we're going to have about the strategy, about what is going to be Formula 1 in the future, and negotiation of the, you know, Concord Agreement. And so this is a lot of work.
Great stuff, Alan. I could talk to you all day. There's a million questions I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, etc., etc. They'll have to wait for a little while. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton looking to see if he can match Alain Prost this year by making himself a 4-time world champion. He's looking like he's got the potential. He's way clear on the timesheet at the moment, but it is, of course, just testing.
OK, Craig, for now, thank you very much.
And there was also a spin for Sauber test driver Antonio Giovinazzi. He's standing in for the injured Pascal Wehrlein. And Force India's Esteban Ocon impressed in the morning, finishing third fastest. His session ended early after the car just stopped on the track. The eventful day in Barcelona, and there's been some big news off the track. Sauber have confirmed Tatiana Calderon as their new development driver. So could we soon see a female start a Grand Prix for the first time since 1976? We can hear from her now. She's been talking to Craig Slater.
Thank you very much indeed, and welcome to Barcelona. The Sauber team are celebrating 25 years of their existence. They're the oldest, well, the fourth oldest continually active team in F1. Antonio Giovinazzi just running back into the garage. You've just missed him there. But what a change they've had over these years. And actually, they've now got some pretty significant sportswomen in the team. Team boss Monisha Kaltenborn, chief strategist Ruth Buscombe as well. And now they've got a development driver, Tatiana Calderon, who's just announced today that you're going to take up this role with the team. How exciting is it?
I've been waiting for this to happen many years. I've been racing for 13 years, and this is very exciting. Another step in my career, and I'm extremely grateful with the Sauber F1 team and with Monisha Kaltenborn, with Scuderia Telmex, because without them I wouldn't be here.
How mean, I've just been saying, Monisha's a woman, obviously. Got Ruth Buscombe as a team strategist here as well. Been very successful wherever she's been to. So, bit by bit, are women really taking on the role they maybe ought to have had in the past now within motorsport?
Yes, absolutely. I think times are changing, and we at Sauber have Monisha, Ruth, who's Dare to Be Different ambassador as well. I've worked in the past with Susie Wolf, and I'm Dare to Be Different ambassador as well. So I think it's a matter of time, but doors are opening for women, and it's great to see so many working now in Formula One.
You carry on in GP3 as well. I mean, people would take a quick glance at where you finished last year and think, well, you're doing well to get this chance, but you had a lot of bad luck, didn't you, last season? What are you hoping to do in GP3 this year?
Yes, I'm combining my Sauber role with racing in GP3 with Dams. It's going to be my second season. I think, there were a lot of changes last year. It was a new car, so a lot of reliability issues, and with the starts, with the clutch, it was quite difficult. But I'm hoping that I can be regularly in the top 10 to score points. I scored twice last year, but the aim is to be there consistently.
Yeah. And ultimately, the aim here, do you believe you can one day get a race drive? Would you be happy to do what Susie Wolf did and just be able to drive the car, or do you want to go the whole way and be part of the very elite in F1?
Yeah, my goal has always been to race in Formula One, and I wouldn't be standing here if I thought that it was not possible. I think they have opened the doors for me and giving me a great chance, and now it's time for me to show what I can do and hopefully get to race a Formula One car in the future.
Well, congratulations on this appointment. And I know, speaking to a lot of very expert opinions in this paddock, they really do rate Tatiana highly. Maybe she will end up on this grid as a competitor one day.
It is day 2 of testing ahead of the new Formula One season. The big question everyone is asking is, will Mercedes' dominance be ended this year? Well, Craig Slater is in Barcelona, and he's been casting his eye over the competition.
Yeah, well, it's noisy, the cars are big, they remind me of the ones I watched in my childhood. Daniel Ricciardo, you watched rather different cars in your childhood because you're rather younger than I am, but I think we've seen enough over a couple of days maybe to bear out what Lewis Hamilton said, which is that maybe Mercedes is still the team to beat, but is there any reason you can't beat them?
I think no, we can beat them. I mean, we've got the same set of rules as everyone else, so there's no reason why we can't be able to across the course of the season. I think Mercedes have come out as they have the last few seasons in winter testing, and come out strong, come out reliable, which I think we all expected. The rules are different, but they're not that different that Mercedes was going to drop from 1st to 5th. So we expect them to be quick. We're still not sure how quick we are or how quick Ferrari is.
Fair enough. One or two drivers are also saying it's hard following other cars, so maybe overtaking might be that bit more difficult. Does that make Saturdays a little bit more important this year? And are you confident you can maintain the upper hand you had over Max Verstappen in qualifying?
It'll emphasise qualifying, I believe so. We're still going to be able to overtake, but it might be a little bit more tricky. But yeah, places like Monaco and that, where it's already a narrow track, having these little bit wider cars will make qualifying even more important. So, it's been a place I've always enjoyed, the qualifying, that aspect of it. So, Max is quick. I'll have to be at my best, but I believe I can stay ahead.
You might be a not bad bet for the championship. I was noticing the bookmakers have Max slightly more of a favourite than you are at the moment. But I was talking to Alain Prost. He said they always make a fuss of the young guy in a team. He had it both ways. He was the young guy, then he was the older guy, maybe with Senna. Do you just have to live with that? Because he's so young, he's always going to get this attention. Yeah,
it's something I have to understand as well. And, he obviously broke records being the youngest winner and all that. So naturally, people are going to be very interested in what he's doing, and it's because he's doing something that people haven't done before, so that draws attention in a crowd. But this is his 3rd season in F1, so he's definitely no longer a rookie. He's still young, but no longer a rookie. So we're both going to come out swinging, and hopefully in the right way, and swing at Mercedes as opposed to each other.
You're looking like you put on a bit of weight. You're maybe looking like a light heavyweight boxer in terms of the neck, but yeah, this man certainly can pack a punch on the track this year, no question.
Now, a reminder then.
Now, Ferrari have continued their impressive start to the new season by talking the timesheets on the second day of testing in Barcelona. Kimi Räikkönen finished the day just ahead of Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes and over a second quicker than anyone else. Ferrari were continuing to gather data from their new car with Räikkönen behind the wheel, and he followed up Sebastian Vettel's impressive pace yesterday by beating the Mercedes despite using a slower tyre compound. Hamilton set Mercedes the quickest time of the day on the super soft tyres before handing over to Valtteri Bottas as the team again did more than 100 laps. Lance Stroll, what a good name, was restricted to just 12 laps on his first day of F1 testing after spinning off in his Williams this morning.
I drove back to the pit lane, but I broke a little winglet. Anyways, it is what it is. Racing stuff happens, and it's early days, so it's not all the parts. You had one front wing, and that was the front wing, and it's Formula One cars. They're very fragile, and they're very complex, and it happened. It's behind us. It's obviously frustrating. We wanted some more running. But at least I got to sit in the car, do a few laps, better than none at all. And like I said, a lot more time still to go in the test days.
It was another frustrating day for McLaren, who again ran into engine problems and had to completely change the Honda power unit in Stoffel van Doorn's car for the second day in a row.
Your engineers telling you about some of these issues you have. Are they things that can be fixed quite quickly, or might it take a bit of time?
It's still too early to say. I mean, I haven't really spoken much about what went wrong, and we still don't really know what actually went wrong. So I think overnight the team will analyze and Honda will analyze what went wrong with the engines, and yeah, hopefully we have a solution for tomorrow.
Red Bull were third quickest with Max Verstappen in the car. Verstappen's second favourite behind Hamilton to win the driver's title after making a huge impact in his first 2 years in F1.
At the moment, it's all about just getting the mileage in and see if there are some issues. But for us, it was a very positive day, and we'll focus later on about lap times.
I was asking Lewis Hamilton if he saw you as the main contender. He thinks you can contend, but maybe you're still a teenager. Are you experienced enough to mount a championship challenge?
Well, I don't think that's an issue. No, but we'll see. I'm not really focused on those things at the moment. I just want to do mileage, and I haven't set any goals yet, so we still have to wait and see.
He obviously broke records, being the youngest winner and all that, so naturally people are going to be very interested in what he's doing, and it's because he's doing something that people haven't done before, so that draws attention in a crowd. But this is his third season in F1, so he's definitely no longer a rookie. He's still young, but no longer a rookie, so we're both going to come out swinging, and hopefully in the right way, and swing at Mercedes as opposed to each other.
You could say it's a little bit too soon if you're talking about maturity, but he has proven already that he already had the maturity. So, in fact, I cannot see any negative points that if the car is working well and that he could not be world champion, could not fight at least for being world champion.
If Verstappen is going to challenge for the championship, he may need a bit more speed from his car. He finished 1.3 seconds behind Räikkönen and Hamilton today, but it is only testing. Having said that, McLaren will be disappointed to finish almost 5 seconds off the pace. They finished behind Sauber, who today announced that they've recruited the GP3 driver, Tatiana Calderon, as their new development driver.
I think times are changing, and we at Sauber have Monisha Ruth, who's there to be different ambassador as well. I've worked in the past with Susie Wolf, and I'm there to be different ambassador as well. So I think it's a matter of time, but doors are opening for women, and it's great to see so many working now in Formula One.